All right, folks, it's Friday. We're going to be talking about phase 2 of the US dollar-backed stablecoin on the XRP ledger, continuing on with further progress and success after phase 1. Phase 2 is going live, and we're talking about a US dollar-backed stablecoin on the XRP ledger, not on the private CBDC ledger for central banks that Ripple created. No, on the mainnet public XRP ledger. Let's get right on into it, folks. I got my XRP Army sweatshirt on. I got a fresh cup of coffee. It's Friday. Market is actually back down, but let's get right on into it without further ado. Let's run it up. So getting started here, we're taking a look at Bitcoin back down to 41,758 at the time of this recording. Friday morning, it's about 9 o'clock here on the West Coast, noon Eastern. Ethereum back down to 223, XRP down to 62 cents. XLM down to 12.5 cents. And let's see what the sticks are doing this morning in regards to the other markets. We have DXY back up. Now, why the DXY is going back up is beyond me. I don't know why anybody would find strength other than we did get one Fed spokesperson or chairman, or I don't know where he finds himself at the Federal Reserve, but a spokesperson, Williams or someone like that. He came out today and he did say that they're not discussing rate cuts. So in complete contradiction to what Jerome Powell slipped up and said, maybe it was an accident, Jerome Powell stating that they're talking about rate cuts 2 days ago. Now here we have Fed, I think it was Williams, saying that they are not discussing rate cuts at all. So maybe that's why the DXY dollar index is back up here today. Let's take a look as the 2-year chopping here at about 4.4%. And our 10-year is still right at about 4%. We'll continue to watch that one. Oil got a little bit of a dip back down here recently at $76, watching that one closely. And basically the silver and gold moving sideways after the FOMC meeting pump that we got, right? After Jerome Powell came out and said that we're going to be soft, we're going to be dovish, everybody feel good because we're done raising rates on you. Well, that sent gold back up above 2,000. That sent silver back above $24 per ounce. Love to see it. And it also did send up crypto briefly. Now we're getting a back test. And as I've highlighted here a couple times in the most recent week, this back test that we got here is healthy. Now we're building out structure, support. But I still continue to be hesitant. And, before I put on the cowboy hat and I'm ready to hop on the bull and go for a ride, I understand what comes next historically. Now, what comes historically is an unpopular opinion, as Retail Stock on Twitter shares right here. It's an unpopular opinion, but it is what history tells us. The crash is inbound, hear me out. Some believe we're in a bull run. Okay, Jay Powell signaled rate cuts. Bullish, yeah. Oh boy. Oh boy. The kids are confused. Consider that rate cuts are to counter negative macros. Go back and look at the rate cuts throughout history. They've always come during downturns and or crises, or as I say, after the blood is in the streets. Been following layoff stats recently. It's a leading indicator. Mean it that it's a warning sign. 2008 was a liquidity crunch. Check what's been happening with the money supply lately. Tightening. Are you following residential real estate? Basically the most unaffordable it's ever been. Can you say bubble? No, it is the most unaffordable it's ever been. Based off the data that we have in front of us, it is the most unaffordable. And there already is a sacrifice taking place in the commercial real estate. And there's already huge price cuts in many cities. And you're already seeing that the builders are doing everything that they can to move this inventory. And the teaser rates are coming back. We can get you in first year at 3%, then you go to 4% the next year, then you go to 5% the year after that. Then we'll adjust and we'll set your rate based off where the rates are at after that. And you can just hope and pray that the rates have come back down and you can refinance lower. But the problem, as I mentioned in last night's live show, is you're not going to be able to refinance if you don't have equity. So if you didn't buy the property at the right price, you're not sitting on equity. No matter if the rates come down, you're still not going to be able to refinance. Tracking the price of precious metals. Okay, sorry, hold up. We skipped one. Speaking of real estate, know what backs several trillion dollars of our bond market? Commercial real estate. Know what's at record or near record vacancies and foreclosures? Commercial real estate. As I said, the sacrifice in commercial real estate is already underway. Are you tracking the price of precious metals? Well, we absolutely have been. Gold recently testing all-time highs before a pullback. Are we sure that it's done? New to this round is Bitcoin and cryptocurrency digital assets. If we're to believe it's a precious asset, some say more precious than gold, it's signaling a flight to store of value as well. Another signal. Following the actions of the Bank of Japan, not bullish. No, Bank of Japan, they're collapsing with their treasuries. And their currency's down to a level that we haven't seen in 33 years against the dollar. Seeing the bank collapses of late, that is not a sign of a liquid market, though this also gets into the tokens mess, so perhaps not a fair indicator. We're at or near all-time highs in consumer credit debt. No, we're at all-time high. Over $1 trillion in credit card debt at the highest interest rates ever. That's not a good thing. It means tightening may come. If none of that moves, you consider this. Insider sales, Gates, Zuckerberg, Vlad, Huang, Diamond, and so many more have been selling mountains of shares. Some of these insiders, as we've noted, have offloaded their entire positions. And folks are still thinking that a soft landing is coming in. Warren Buffett has sold about, $30 billion worth of his equities and stocks this year? And actually, if you go look at historically, you look at on a chart, you can actually see Warren Buffett. He loads up on cash right before we enter into a recession or a downturn. And then that's when he's deploying. He's during these downturns. That's when he's buying value stocks at a discount. So the Buffett indicator in that regard, as far as his cash position, should tell you something. 157 billion cash, and he sells off 30 billion worth of equities. Now consider this: the SPY, that'd be your main index, SPY, is around all-time highs. You've heard buy high, sell low, right? No, of course you haven't. So consider who needs exit liquidity and what event is coming. I can most certainly be wrong. Heck, I kind of hope I am. But wisdom tells me the warning signals are flashing. You cannot discount. You got to believe in yourself. And this is what I keep on telling myself. It's hard when you're seeing, Dow Jones up to new all-time highs. Stock's still pumping. Everybody's having a good time. Crypto's pumping. And we own crypto. So I love to see it. The precious metals pumping. Love to see it. But the warning signals are flashing and you can't dismiss it. And you have to trust your gut. You have, and someone say, that's just how you feel. That's just your gut. No, it's backed up off of what we're seeing with the data. And although it's unpopular, although it's inconvenient, although it's bitter, it will be sweet once we see this thing through and we're able to take advantage of it. Just like Warren Buffett, we get liquid. I don't have 157 billion, but I put a few shekels off to the side and I'll be able to buy a couple XRP maybe, or buy a couple other assets. Mostly I'm looking at real estate and private equity now. But this is going to be our opportunity to take advantage of. Now let's continue on here, folks. This is all those warning signals flashing on top of the World War III situation as well. We have shipping giant Maersk pauses all voyages through the Red Sea despite 2 American aircraft carriers group in the region. So even with our own aircraft carriers in the region, they're cutting it off. They're saying it's not safe. And just as we've gotten through all the worst of the supply chain, no matter, although they were exaggerating the supply chain and everybody's been using the supply chain deal, they'll probably be using supply chain as an excuse 10 years from now. The supply chain was an issue. To what extent can be debated, but now this is real, right? When you have millions of barrels of oil per day flowing through these, the Suez Canal, the Red Sea, the Hormuz Strait, you see here one little hiccup, and now with this could bring the supply chain crisis back once again. We also have Hamas rockets intercepted over Al-Aqsa Mosque, and this is what I continue to watch. This is a powder keg set to go off at any point. And we'll continue to watch that situation over there with the Al-Aqsa Mosque. What I worry about is that they're setting the stage for that thing to be taken out. And guys, please, I'm just letting you know how what I see coming. They're setting the stage, and that will be catastrophic for relations, not just in the Middle East, but worldwide, if that were to happen. Let's continue to watch and let's continue to pray. May God be with us. Continuing on, Rosie Rios. I'm excited to be in Boston, the city where it all began, to kick off the 250th anniversary of the Boston Tea Party. This historic event set the stage for our nation's founding and embodies the spirit of resistance and self-determination. Amen. God bless it. Now, Rosie Rios, she's the one who told us that we still have the gold. Some questioned her political leanings here or there, but the fact that she's at the Boston Tea Party today to celebrate the 250th anniversary and believe that this set the stage for the spirit of resistance and self-determination, the train has left the station. I made sure I got on that dang thing with Rosie Rios. Now, I did a trust me, bro. She said that we have the gold. I said, okay, good enough. You join the board of directors at Ripple. I'll take your word. I'll hop on the train with you. Here's my gold ticket. And speaking of gold, Costco sold 100 million worth of 1 ounce gold bars in its latest quarter. 100 million. The hits just keep on coming. And we've been talking about this. You're starting to see it come again after gold's now gone up back up to all-time high. Back test, another opportunity. They can keep this thing suppressed a little bit longer, but you're already seeing it start to break out. And I suspect that we're going to see the precious metals can potentially be brought back down if we get a broader correction in the equities markets and a recession coming in this next year. So prepare for that. But over the course of the next couple years here, the shift is underway, and we won't be talking about a $2,000 per ounce gold. We won't be talking about a 23 per ounce silver. I went to grab my silver, but I realized I gave it to my daughter to play with. I'm teaching her what real money is early on, and she loves the little silver coins. And I try not to let her play with the silver. The 10 ouncer is too heavy. I don't want her to drop it on her toes or something. But I got to teach her what real money is. We're not going to be talking about 24 per ounce silver. We're not going to be talking about 2,000 per ounce gold. We're not going to be talking about 60 cent XRP. We're not going to be talking about $1 XRP. So Costco hopping on the train, and they're moving that gold 100 million. And if you guys, I don't have an affiliate link for Costco, but we do have a couple affiliates linked up down below and at my website, zachrector.com, if you're looking to pick up some precious metals. So take advantage of that, and it's a way to support the show. Appreciate you guys in that regard. Now, I guess we need to appreciate the fact that Gary Gensler is once again doing nothing to give us any sort of clarity on digital assets. Today, the commission denied a petition for rulemaking filed on behalf of Coinbase Global. Read my statement here. He says that first, existing laws and regulations apply to crypto securities markets. Second, the SEC addresses the crypto securities markets through rulemaking as well. This is guy. Third, it is important to maintain the commission's discretion in setting its own rulemaking priorities. Basically, we don't want to hear from you guys. We're going to have our own discretion. We're going to do our own deal, and you guys can deal with it. And we already have laws on the books. And, you know, I hate to say it, to a point, to an extent, he is right. Now, they are wrong for doing this, and as you're going to see here, Hester Pierce also disagrees along with Commissioner Uyeda. Excuse me. And they respond here, and they respond here by saying this. Let's take a look. This is from the SEC website. You can see right here. Statement regarding denial of petition for rulemaking from Commissioner Pierce and Commissioner Uyeda. The commission has denied the petition for rulemaking filed on behalf of Coinbase. We disagree with the commission's decision. We acknowledge that the commission has broad discretion to set the timing and priorities of its rulemaking agenda. In our view, the petition raises issues presented by new technologies and other innovations, and addressing these important issues is a core part of being a responsible regulator. Any exploration of these issues should include public roundtables, concept releases, and requests for comment, which would afford us the opportunity to hear from a wide range of market participants and other interested parties. What a novel concept, right? Actually listening to the people that you're, in charge of ruling over. Then, using what has been learned, the commission could issue guidance or engage in a rulemaking as needed. The public benefits from open conversations about how new products and services can be offered with a sensible regulatory framework to meet the needs of our fellow Americans. We hope that interested persons continue to post specific rule changes, guidance, and exemptions that would form a useful basis for the crypto industry to continue its development with the United States. While we are disappointed that the Commission is not hosting these important conversations, we will have an open ear for conversations that other hosts and the ideas that emerge from these conversations. So while we have the SEC denying this petition, we don't want to have open conversation. We don't want to have open dialogue. We don't listen to you guys to trying to get some clarity. We don't listen to you. On the other end, we have Rosie Rios celebrating the 250th anniversary of the Boston Tea Party. That is the way. That is what I'm talking about, right? Rosie Rios leaning into that resistance and that spirit of self-determination, along with the fact that the Boston Tea Party was over what? Not even a 50, not even 0.5% tax, not even a 1% tax. The Boston Tea Party was over less than 1% tax. And now, you hand over 30%, 40%, 50% of your income to our government. And meanwhile, we have the SEC just continuing on with Operation Choke Point. So this is where our country's gone so wrong. 250 years later, the spirit of resistance and self-determination that made this jewel, the crown jewel, the gold standard of capital markets, everything that made this great opportunity that we once had, right, is now under attack. And you flip this to other countries that are leaning into this technology, that are leaning into transparency and truth and sound money. It is a completely different story. And what am I talking about? And remember, many people, many of the XRP haters, tried to dismiss Palau's stablecoin projects as a complete failure. And the fact that phase 1 was coming to an end was a signal that the project was a failure. Remember all those guys that tried to say that? Oh, phase 1's coming to an end because it was a complete failure. Even though all of the reports, all of the participants, it was an overwhelming success. And now, phase 2 going live. Anthony Welfare, who is CBDC strategic advisor at Ripple. Excellent to see phase 2 of the Palau stablecoin project being officially launched. The PSC is a digital currency backed 1-to-1 with the US dollar held in an FDIC insured commercial bank. This is so important, guys. One, first off, it's a US dollar backed stablecoin. And two, it is on the XRP ledger, not on the private version of the XRP ledger that Ripple created for central banks. This is on mainnet XRPL. Me and you are using the same ledger that these guys are using for their Palau stablecoin project. We can go watch their transactions when they go to buy a candy bar at the corner store. We can see that transaction on the ledger. The digital currency is issued on the XRP ledger. The XRPL-based ecosystem is then used to make payments and improve the financial accessibility to the Palau people. Using a blockchain-based digital currency opens up so many innovative and useful opportunities, such as reduced fees associated with financial transactions, reducing the carbon footprint of the money flow, and increased inclusion since no bank account is needed to use the PSC. You don't need a bank account. Note, Palau is made up of 340 islands. There are challenges getting fiat currency around these, and mobile data is expensive. The solution enables offline payments. Oh boy. Oh boy. I thought we didn't have offline payments on the XRPL yet. Oh boy. When the systems go down, maybe we will be able to use our XRP for blackout barter. What do you say? So that is, if there is a powder outage or data loss, transactions can still be made. Massive congratulations to Jay and the team in Palau. Now, you will recall, I interviewed Jay Hunter Anson from the Palau Digital Residency Office and Stablecoin Program, part of the Ministry of Finance. And yes, they did go live, 1-to-1 tokenized US dollar, live on the XRPL. Phase 2 will focus on building a robust digital ecosystem, expanding accessibility and user participation, with an emphasis on legal and regulatory compliance. The integration of financial institutions, legal and regulatory compliance, regulatory bodies, legal frameworks, businesses, and users for transaction security and transparency that adheres to international standards. We are setting the standard in the XRP Ledger ecosystem. Now we get NFTs. Next we get AMM. Then we get XLS38D, cross-chain interoperability. We can have interoperability with any other chain. Then we get XLS40D, which is digital identity. This is setting the standard when it comes to the XRP ledger. It gets done right. It doesn't break the ledger. And as you're seeing, we have the government of Palau choosing the XRPL. We have central banks around the world choosing the XRPL. Now, the CBDC projects with these other central banks, they're using the private version of the XRPL that Ripple created. That's the difference between the other CBDC pilots that are running right now and Palau's project. Palau is on mainnet XRPL, the one that me and you are using. But recall, Ripple created basically a copy, a fork of the XRPL. It's a private version of the XRPL for central banks. And this is very important because the central banks need that. They don't want transparency. They want to be able to hide it, and you need it. I mean, not everybody should be able to watch you buying a corner store, buying a candy bar at the corner store. So they need that. And they need that flexibility to have part of it on the private chain. But then at any point, they can hit that big red button. They can bring down the walled gardens, and they can have interoperability with mainnet XRPL. And then now with XLS38D, you'll be able to have interoperability with any other chain as well. If you also consider the EVM sidechain coming to the XRPL, the real utility coming to the XRPL is massive. But then, as I've always stated, you can have the best technology in the world, the cheapest, the fastest transactions. That's all great, fine, and dandy. But can you get anybody that matters to actually sign a deal to start using your tokens? And in the case of XRP, you can see it's another partnership every single week. Now we're seeing that Ripple themselves are moving their on-demand liquidity flows to the DEX. So it's all coming to the DEX, and the AMM is going to make that DEX even more efficient and even more attractive, and you know where this takes us. So hang on in there. We're seeing a little bit of a pullback today in the markets. If you want to take advantage of that opportunity, you already know the deal. Speaking of taking advantage of opportunities, we are running a special through the end of this year. 13% off your Patreon membership when you sign up for 1 year. Take advantage of it right now. And I appreciate everyone for stopping by this morning. If you can do me a big favor and like this video on the way out, I would greatly appreciate that. And if you're new here, make sure you subscribe, hit that notification bell so you don't miss any of our updates. I will see you guys in the next one. God bless you all.